Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26th, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9076 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Dig Talk in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Kanyehamba.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Have you held a peaceful demonstration by holding a placard or won a shot communicating about injustices? Is it a speech about rights? Are they for women, children, youths, people with disabilities, elderly, environmental or lands? Do you know you're a human rights defender? Are you threatened, harassed, intimidated, illegally arrested, detained, tortured or imprisoned as a result of defending rights? If you have experienced any of the aforementioned, please reach out to National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders Uganda for assistance on their toll-free number 0800 100 250 or visit their offices located in Ntinda, Kampala, Semawata Road. Defending rights is constitutional. Please don't shy away.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Edachikanya ezakaita kusawa emu amanya gange nze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga program The Mighty Drive. Yes, naku z'omwezi 22 omwezi tuli mu gwa kusatu omwaka 2023 ne naku zigenda zegoberengana zanguwa omwezi guguno nagwo gweddeko ogwokusatu mu time etali ya amanyi nnyo tugenda kwa tuyingira omwezi ogwokuna mujine emyezi 3 ejakatandika ekibuzo kino kikubuuza nnyo nti kiche wekoleddewo kichokoleddewo family yo kichokoledde community yo ate kichokoledde eggwanga lyo Uganda. Olowooza ku bintu ebiti wetujja okutandika okkulaakulanya eggwanga lyaffe ng'abantu ate ng'eggwanga lennyini likulaakulana. Ejjukira there is a saying egenda mu lulimi oluzungu olwo bagita charity begins from home. Then oba yagala kukyusa eggwanga ekitegeeza olina kusooka kukyusa amakago because of course the family is the smallest unit mu nsi wotandikira bw'oba oli wakukyusa ggwanga otandikira wakaawo wakaawo wakyuka ekitegeeza n'eggwanga liba likyuka. Naye program The Mighty Drive etuuse wano ku page The Alternative Uganda on Facebook ne ku Twitter tuli The Alternative ne ku YouTube The Alternative. Genda yoso ko subscribing then olabe videos ezo zobo misinze ko tukuletea abantu bangi bannabyabufuzi tubeera ne ba human rights defenders tulina abantu bangi betuleta ba educationalists bangi nnyo era olunaku lwa leero tugenda kuba n'omukyala Dr. Mulamba. She's called Dr. Anneette Kezaabu. She's the chairperson of the Uganda Pornography Control Committee. Yes, tugenda kubeera naye mu lunaku olwa leero. Ono mukyala mama, she's a sister, she's a friend, she's an educationalist and a mass comm specialist. Yaliko ne deputy vice chancellor wa academic affairs ku Kampala International University. Tugenda kuba tutudde wano naye nze ne Farida nga tunyonyola ku bintu bino ebikwatagana na obugwenyufu, morality, pornography byonna bino eno show yo muvubuka okubeerako ng'olaba kubanga bino bikukwatako beerako olabe osooka oyige tulabe engeri gye tusobola okukendeeza emize gino emize egitazimba ggwanga egyonoona obwonoonyi omugigi omuto naye kanyingireko mu mawulire agabadde gabungeesebwa mu ggwanga lino ne wabweru w'eggwanga tuyo tugenda kubeera nnyo wabweru w'eggwanga kubanga nga we mukimanyi wiiki eyaggwa zaali ndoze ennaku z'omwezi 17 omwezi guno gwennyini Tanzania ne Africa bafiirwa omusajja statesman President Mulamba President John Pombe Magufuli omwami afiiridde ku myaka 61 era abadde atandise ekisanja kye ekyokubiri mu ggwanga lino ya Tanzania. Jjukira constitution ya Tanzania ekumandatinga okubanga ogenda kufuga ebisanja bibiri 2 terms buli myaka 5 emyaka 10 gyo egiggwako oba olina okudda ku bbali then omuntu omulala najja n'akwata mu kunkasi naye kyanaku nnyo okubanga omwami ono John Pombe Magufuli ekisanja kye ekyokubiri teyakimazeeko wali mu ggwanga erya Tanzania. Tugenda kunnyonnyolamu ekyamuse bagamba mbuno yabadde heart failure naye mawulire mangi agadde gabungeesebwa mu Tanzania mbuno ono omwami yafudde COVID-19 on opposition leading opposition mu ggwanga lino nga olaba wano ndoza Kyagulanyi omwami Kyagulanyi weeri bamuyita Tundu Lissu. Yes, Tundu Lissu by the way talina mu ggwanga lya Tanzania kubanga bingi ebibadde bamukubako ne ku masasaawo naye bye tujja kuba tubiyingiramu later on. Naye omwami ono yavuddeyo n'agamba mbu John Pombe Magufuli teyafudde heart failure nga oyadde byogerwa mbu mazima ddala yafudde COVID-19 naye gano bino bigambo bya Tundu Lissu naye si bigambo bya Tanzania. Tanzania yavuddeyo n'egamba nti omwami John Pombe Magufuli taata w'eggwanga lino yafudde ekirwadde ekya heart failure yafiiridde mu ddwaliro lya Dar es Salaam Hospital si nga we baadde bagamba mbu ali Buyindi mbu yasooka kubeera Kenya n'alyoka avaayo n'agenda India. Ebyo byonna byadde byogerwa naye nga the facts according to the Tanzanian government zigamba nti omwami ono yafudde heart failure era yafiiridde mu ddwaliro erya Dar es Salaam Hospital. Bambi kibi nnyo okubanga omwami John Pombe Magufuli yafudde naye kino waba yafudde COVID-19 nga byogerwa omuzungu akiyita poetic justice nti kwa yekenyini yali preaching against COVID-19 n'okwambala masiki yalagamba COVID-19 teriyo then nife tusabe nnyo obeera nga olina Yesu mu mubiri gwo oba tosobola kufa COVID-19 byonna mu mwami ono ate nga by the way he was a scientist an expert in chemistry. Naye unfortunately omwami ono yafudde tetunakikakasa naye batugambye mbuno yafudde heart failure naye nga tuvuddeko awo ndooza ono omwami yennyini baali bamukazaako lya bulldozer we yali minister of transport mu ggwanga erya Tanzania yali akola nnyo enguudo omusajja w'amaanyi era nga nammwe mbadde mumuwulira yatandika n'amaanyi mangi ng'ajja mu ntebe ndooza that was 2015 weera ayingira yatandika n'ekisanja kye kino wano muliako na muchezo naye ng'omuchezo mweguli omutono yali Tanzania tegwalimu yadde yali strictly business. Musajja mulungi nnyo abadde yakola enguudo ng'akyali minister of transport. Then bino abakozi obutakola ghost workers biki ebyo byonna yali yabikendeeza mu ggwanga lino erya Tanzania. Naye era ng'omulungi yenna bingi bye yakola, naye of course n'obumogo obubeeramu, naye mu birungi era yakola railways, ya replacing railways, yaddiza abantu amaanyi gaabwe. Ndoza ne wali we bagiyita heroes eka wagiyita mu Tanzania ettaka we baziika ba heroes yalijjawo n'aliddiza abantu n'agamba mbumanyi oba president ng'ofudde togenda kuziikibwanga oyina ewammwe. Yagamba buli president ayina ewaabwe gy'aba ava. This person or this gentleman, John Pombe Magufuli, was really a down to earth person. Musajja abadde muntu wa wansi nnyo era bambi yaddiza abantu ettaka. Abadde muntu afa nnyo ku bantu bino. Simanya abadokita babeera amalwaliro nga tebakola. John Pombe Magufuli olwo yagenda kondoza ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi ekyo ekya Tanzania nayitira wano mu passengers lane abantu we bayitira aba bulijjo kwe kusanga bali mu kwetuulira tebafa ku bantu. Ndowooza kola olunaku airport kumpi ya Kataji Kazebukazi kuba yagoba abantu baali bangi. Ekyo kikulaga omwoyo gw'abantu gw'abadde. By the way, ono omusajja nga omanyi yava in a humble background. Be bantu abavudde wansi. So plight y'abantu bawansi aba agitegeera. So omwami John Pombe Magufuli era ng'omulungi naawe abeera waliwo ebyamusobako bambi tabadde mulungi nnyo eri bannamawulire era bakubiddwa kibooko nnyingi kubanga omwami ono abannamawulire abadde tabakkiririzaamu nnyo. Then n'omwami ne bana bayita opponents tunduliso bamukuba amasasi 12 paka kati tebannamanya ani yagamukuba, naye nga yagamba aba gavumenti bennyini be bagamukuba. Ndooza nga wabulayo eddakiika 4 okuwera essaawa 1:15 munzikirize era omusajja ono tumalize nga tugamba nti ndooza mule mirembe. Naye president omupya oba omujja wa Tanzania ye omukyala ono gwe bayita Samia Suluhu Hassan. Samia Suluhu Hassan abadde vice president w'eggwanga lino era ava mu kitundu ekyo kya Zanzibar. Ye sawa zino ye president of course yagenda omalako kino ekisanja because constitution egamba president waba akisiza omukono oba umudendo za kabaka yakisa omukono waba afudde president vice president yakwatamu era vice president w'eggwanga lino abadde Samia Suluhu Hassan. Katulinde tulabe emyaka gineena gyonna anaagikolamu ki, agenda kulonda cabinet empya. Juka constitution emu mandatinga waba ayagala okuyiwa cabinet gy'alina n'atandika ne cabinet empya. Naye nga ebyo byonna bye bigenda maaso. Naye olutalo oluli mu Tanzania saawa zino the vice president, who is going to be the vice president of this particular country. Banja waliwo kuliko ndooza Henry Makonde ono yali minister wa internal affairs era ye ambassador wa Tanzania mu Brazil. Ine myaka 4 waliwo ne prime minister wennyini aliko bamuyita Kassim Majaliwa. Ono Majaliwa yali musomesa era ye prime minister w'eggwanga lino. Katulinye tulabani gwe bagenda olonda kuba vice president ow'eggwanga erya Tanzania. Eddakiika 12 ze zakayita ku sawa mu program ekyali The Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Ndooza ebigiri wano mu ggwanga bitono katono. Omwami Kyagulanyi Sentamu njukira yawaabwa omusango kati tulina Judge Esther yavuddeyo n'akola ebyafaayo. Judge Esther yagambye mbuno bamujjako report ye Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo yamujjako report ye ensala ye owa verdict ye ku musango gwa Kyagulanyi. Naye yagambye agenda gisoma ino particular week, this particular week that is coming tayogedde lunaku. Naye yadalaga mbuto tezakwatagana n'ezaabana abajaji 8 juka baali 9. So omukyala Judge Esther Kisaache ye report ye yayite kwatagana. Naye yagamba singa balikkiriza omwami ono Kyagulanyi oku amendinga petition ye kubanga kyali kikirizwa by the constitution. Naye okumugaana yagamba kino kyali kya bulyaza amanya. Naye wetwogerera kati nga Judge Esther bamuyisa nga si bulungi nnyo wona agamba nga judge omulala kati nkokola lwitwamulabanga bamuganye n'okuyingira chambers yayina okuvaayo mu offices ajje wansayo gende bannamawulire wabweru kwegamba atandise okwanika ku bintu ebimu bye tubadde tetumanyi ebigenda maaso mu constitutional system ya Uganda. Ndooza kankomaawo program ekyali The Mighty Drive ngayo n'abasuubiza tulina omukyala Dr. Anneette Kezaabu ono chairperson wa Uganda Pornography Control Committee. Tugenda kwera nga twogera ku issues of morality, pornography and how we can build a better generation. Ndooza katugendeko for a short commercial break. Wetukomawo tugenda kubeera n'omukyala Dr. Annette Kezaabu. And by the way, the book launch etuuse tubala kati ennaku 5 zenyini, 5 days to the book launch of Justice George Wilson Karuhanga. Kufuna ticket yo ya kati eri 10,000 osobola okujefunia ne tulaba engeri je to enjoying that day on the 26th of March 2021 wali ku Imperial Royal Hotel. Let's go for a short commercial break. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
The world is at a critical moment of providing innovative alternatives as a means to create change.
As such, we have created a not-for-profit alternative mobile digital platform as a way to promote space for freedom of speech and expression to the unheard voices.
We know you believe in the cause and you can further it more by contributing to its sustainability in forms of internet data, fuel, and any other support you deem relevant.
Please support us with your contribution to Equity Bank account number 103-5201-607252 under the name Alternative Digital, or our mobile money numbers 0702 900076 or 0783 047785. Alternative Digital, real issues, real talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book. The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Karuhanga. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Royal Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 900076 or 0783 047785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digital in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Karuhanga.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digital. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digital. Digital, the way to go.
Have you held a peaceful demonstration by holding a placard or won a shot communicating about injustices? Is it a speech about rights? Are they for women, children, youths, people with disabilities, elderly, environmental or lands? Do you know you're a human rights defender? Are you threatened, harassed, intimidated, illegally arrested, detained, tortured or imprisoned as a result of defending rights? If you have experienced any of the forementioned, please reach out to National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders Uganda for assistance on their toll-free number 0800 100 250 or visit their offices located in Ntinda, Kampala, Semawata Road. Defending rights is constitutional. Please don't shy away.
Inaku z'omwezi mwezi ziri 22 omwezi gwa kusatu omwaka 2021. Do you have any set goals for 2021? How far have you gone? Omwaka tugenda kukungulako emyezi kati esatu naye munnange gwe wasettinga goals. Oh, to say why very good morning to you all that are watching us from wherever you are, Uganda, UAE, USA. Mwena wonna we mutulabira njagala babuuzaako ate n'okubeebaza nti mwebale kutukeererako buli lunaku essaawa ebeeremu ey'okumakya paka ssaawa 3 Monday to Friday. Abatana twegattako bamikwano, we are live on Facebook. The page is The Alternative Uganda. Genda wombiro like the page and follow us ate munnange wansi ku live video yaffe mu comment section tekamu ekibuuzo kyo tugenda kubanga ate tukisoma leero twogera mpisa tugenda kuba twogera tutunuulire culture munnange twayonoona wa byasoberawa wonna leero tugenda kukuba abaana bawala. We have a woman visitor in the studios. Nze bwembeera n'omukyala ebyabakyala mbisoosowaza nnyo naye leero tugenda kukuba wonna bawala balenzi kubanga morality cutting across. So njagala obagamba nti mwanguweeko naddala abaana abavubuka kuba kino kitukwatirako ddala so mwanguweeko. The page is The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, on Twitter and on YouTube. We are The Alternative Uganda. Karuhanga, Edgar, Mathew, wasuzote. Nasuze bulungi ye embeera y'obudde wagirabye. Last week watugamba mba mufunye sente zammwe musavingeko naye muzirye. You know, it rained money in New York. Really? It rained money. Some guy came with huge bags of money and he started throwing money on the streets. New York was basula sente mu banga nga dollars sawa bingi bwebitinga akasuka dollars nga abantu webaziyola. He said he was doing so in remembrance of his friend yali akikola ne bamutta. So naye yavuddeyo na
kati ani abato omuntu agaba sente olumu ebintu biri funny naye omuntu agaba sente oba okoze ndoza injustice to many.
Tima ate omuntu yenna tayagaliza. So alaba bakuyitako abalaba omuyitako nagamba naye lwaki. So he was gunned down.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm doing it to kujukira in remembrance of my friend. He was killed before the money that he had made in that hazard. So now it rained money ngabantu bayola sente wa police yadde yeteka mama wagali nga yagala bazimukwase nagamba no, you have to be like the others. You have to pick it from the ground.
that is the essence of the whole
yeah, you have to pick it from the ground. You are not any difference from people that are picking it down. So mnangenze we aina sente zo Edgar Mathew tugamba tuzirye. I don't know why.
tozirya chivubi. Nenga chentechera integeza generally tinawe we wamu once in a while.
We wamu akade no sanyuka
bulamu. Yomkwano gwange yafa 23 years ngagenda graduating. Bakitega mwana muto muvubuka, a lot of dreams nezifa ways to like that. Just etalwadde takoze eki. So to some extent olumu osoka okuba nawe faako nolaba engeri naawe gye weeyagala ng'omuntu naye ndowooza at this note nange kanyingizemu omukyala n'abagambe tulina Dr. Anneette Kezaabu ono ye Chairperson wa Uganda Pornography Control Committee. Tulinayo olunaku olwaleko program The Mighty Drive. Dr. Annette, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. Is it Dr. Anneette Kezaabu? Is that the right pronunciation?
That's it. Dr. Anneette Kezaabu.
Okay, that is nice. Thank you for coming through. And I think let's start on that note. Who's Dr. Anneette Kezaabu?
Yeah,
for those that are watching.
Dr. Anneette Kezaabu is a sister, a friend, a Ugandan. I'm an educationist, first and foremost. And by that I mean I've taught in class, taught at Makerere University at the Department of Journalism and Communication. Yeah, I taught for some years there. I've also been a Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Kampala International University. So I am in the educational sector, although I have trained as a journalist, but at the end I trained as a health communication specialist. That was at my PhD level.
Did you practice as a journalist before? Or?
Yes, I started from Monitor Radio. That time there was a radio. Then I went to the New Vision around 2001. I was at the New Vision. So people who were there at that time, 2001, 2002, 2003, I was there. I started as an intern. Then I also run around the media, you know, sometimes even just doing jingles. Yeah, so I've been around this terrain also.
That means you must know what we are going through. These days we are going through a lot of persecution. People are beating us. I don't know for what reason. Do you have any comment on that?
We are being suffocated.
Yes.
Well, it's because you people at this age now, you can stand up for yourselves, but persecution for journalists has always been there. Why? Because you are speaking a different language. People fear you. They know you will set an agenda. And they don't want that. People want control. So when they see a journalist, they say, oh my God, I'm out of control. I might do something and slip up, and you might pick it up and take it to the whole world. They know the power that you have. Once a journalist knows the power they wield, they shouldn't use it badly, immorally, but they should use it to make Uganda better. Okay. Make Uganda better. You have the power.
Wow, okay. You reminded us about that. I think let's delve into the main discussion of the day. You are the chairperson of the Uganda Pornography Control Committee. Yes. First of all, throw more light about this particular committee. What does it do, its origin and everything?
The Pornography Control Committee is a 9-member committee that is underpinned by a law, an act of Parliament of 2014, the Anti-Pornography law, law of 2014. Okay. The president assented to it, and it was instituted mainly to control pornography. So we've been around since 2017. We've been looking at how we can prohibit pornography, how we can detect it early, how we can help people who are victims of pornography. We found so many in schools. How we can help those victims to come back to the normal, to be rehabilitated. Some people just think we are like walking around and we are policing morality and all that, but that's not it. We have found very many areas of concern, and I think that is why the Pornography Control Committee was established. It was established because there was public outcry in 2004 to 2004, actually, 3. Around that time, people started seeing, because that's when the media really opened up in Uganda, and people started seeing videos of people who were doing things, and they seemed pornographic, and there was public outcry. So Parliament instituted a committee at that time, and the committee went into the whole of Uganda looking for ways, looking for pornography. Is there pornography in Uganda? And what they found was devastating. So they came back to Parliament, and that is how the law was born. But I was looking back at their report and seeing what they thought was pornography at that time. For example, they would bring out the song Enomaikia Zigidi. That's when it had just come out. But if you look at the things that are out now, what does that say? It says 2 things. Number one, that we have been groomed. When I say grooming, I mean it in the sense of psychology, that people have introduced immoral things and we have accepted them with time, and now they are okay. Yes. Yes.
Before we dive in the impact of your committee, what you have done, where you have failed, we will have to first go to what caused the committee to be there, the moral decadence. Where did we go wrong? The state of morality in Uganda, before you thought of, okay, we need a committee to control the pornography, the rate of pornography in Uganda was worrying, or is worrying, because I do not see an impact of this committee. Anyway, but you have to tell us what you have done, what you have achieved, the challenges. But let us look at the morality, the state of morality in our country.
Well, now you're bringing me to the topic, because today's topic was the state of morality in Uganda. Do good manners pay? Actually, how I look at it is, the starting point would be, what are some of the guiding documents in Uganda that talk about morality? One of them is Vision 2040, and the other one is the 3rd development plan, which is NDP 3 of 2020-2021 to 2024-25. Those 2 documents brought out very important proposals about morality in Uganda. And one of them, for example, one of them is that morality the one that is Vision 2040,
Yes.
proposes that morality should be taught in schools, should be introduced to children when they are young. We have ignored this. You ask me, where have we gone wrong? We have ignored this. Morality should be taught at an early age so that when people are getting into work, you know, they should know what to do.
Because charity begins at home, Doctor. When you don't learn something from home, it's going to be very difficult for you to learn it from outside when you're a big person. So,
when I'm speaking, because my age mates are now at the level of senior managers and all that, and so some of them are human rights, HRM, you know, the ones who recruit for companies. So,
Human resource.
they get people who are fresh from the university or people who have been on the street for 5 years. They can't answer basic questions about what they want to do, where they want to go. They are poorly dressed when they come in for interviews. All those things we are taught, you know, before, but now people ignore those things, such that now somebody comes knowing, I will come to this company, make as much money, buy a house in Kololo, be rich, marry a beautiful woman, and that is where life will go. And of course, we don't have these resources to do that. So when people are interviewing people, the human resource officers interviewing people, you see a student coming, they hardly have any experience, they have not done anything for themselves, they don't know that there is work ethic. If you ask them about late coming, I mean, someone presents themselves for an interview. I'm just going back to where things went wrong. Yes. And they say, well, I'm not an early riser, so I can probably come in at 10 and 11. Like, to whose company? You know, you want to ask them, yeah, but when you engage me nicely, I can perform. Really?
Being truthful.
Yes, and I think this is keeping it real. But keeping it real, does it mean throwing yourself under the bus? No wonder many people continue to be unemployed. Because if you're coming in as a boss, the boss doesn't do that. Yeah, they have to go early. So ethics of, you know, work ethics of planning, work ethics of timekeeping, work ethics of knowing that you're working for this company, it only rewards you when you reward it, are no longer there. Okay. What we have are some, for us, we are looking at them as spoiled brats who are expecting heaven on earth in a very short time.
We are not spoiled brats anyway, but maybe it is the trend now. It is where our community is. It is just a matter of waking up, go to work, and do what you are told to do, because that is how being employed is. You are actually accomplishing tasks of your boss. Of your big boss that he never want, maybe he has no ability to accomplish, and he employs you, accomplish those tasks, he pays you for the work done, and maybe you accumulate some money, and that is all. We are not actually those spoiled, but because of the system. We go back to our education system. How are we taught? How are we taught?
Yes.
And then bosses ask us for the experience.
Yes.
But in university, we are not given that those practical skills. We are theoretical. So they will give you the notes, you read the notes, sit an exam, and then you are out of the university. You have not done a thing. And then the boss expects you to have 5 years experience, and you are just a fresh graduate. Why don't bosses be lenient enough to allow these fresh graduates have experience for as long as they are determined to work?
Well, I think that people have lowered some standards because they are saying, okay, you know about the baby boomers and Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, the millennials. So now, the millennials, people are saying let's lower standards because we are the ones who did not teach them what to do. For example, some excuses, even to teach someone that there are some excuses you can give for being absent from work. That you cannot say, it's raining, it rained, so that's why I didn't come. So where did the boss pass and where did the others pass? They will gladly tell the boss, because you have a car. Hey, okay. Well, there was a cleaner who came in, they have no car, but because it's an old cleaner who knows they have to be present at their station, they are here. Anyway, that usually goes into a blame game of generations. Yes. But then it shouldn't be like that, because morals should be respected and they are here to stay. And we need them. If we have to carry out, to have this society the best way, we have to have it. Now, you asked about, I don't want to go so much into work ethic, because that is something I can comment about the whole day. What people do and what they don't do. But you see, we need some training there. In fact, if I was still at the university teaching, that's some course that we could introduce. Teach people how to write a CV, an acceptable CV. Some people come in with some CVs and you look at them and you don't know whether you should employ them.
We were taught to write CVs, I think in senior 2.
Yes,
Yeah, in English.
Yeah, but people don't know that you adopt it to what you are looking for, what kind of work you're looking for. So they end up just bringing some flat CV, you look at it. When you meet the person, they're even more flat than the CV. You want to teach them, take them aside and
know what a flat CV looks like.
Yeah, surely.
But let's talk about pornography itself. What has caused the high rate?
Before we dive into pornography, we should first look at that question. Do good morals pay?
Of course they do, and that's what I really want to talk about.
Do good morals pay?
Good morals pay, because without the good morals, the society will, how we like to talk about it, go down the drain. Production at work will suffer, because I've told you about the latecomers and about, Then high rates of corruption, because everybody expects to get rich quick. If you have that conscience and morality is taught at an early age, you know there are some things you must touch and not touch. You know that you can even resign a job if morally there is something that is happening that you don't agree with. Those are some of the things that we inculcate in our children, and when they grow up, they still have them, even if we are not around anymore. So good morals pay.
We should know some examples of good morals, because one would think coming late is not being immoral. Coming late at work, it's not being immoral. I mean, I just came late. I am well dressed. I am coming to do my work, so I am not being immoral. What are some examples of good morals that some people should adopt?
Examples of good morals. Your work ethic of knowing. Let me just make it all round. How do you respond to your boss? How do you work with co-workers? How are you in a team? How do you present yourself to work? If it is, for example, you are in the media world and you are you news anchor, do you come shabbily dressed? Sometimes these days we are shocked. You look at a news anchor and then they are all not shaved, and there's this whole thing going on. You're like, why can't he shave? Instead of concentrating on the news, you're concentrating on that. So knowing where you're working, knowing what happens there and working accordingly. Then also timekeeping cannot be overemphasized, and morality is, even if someone's money drops, I'm not even talking about work, pick it and give it back to them. You don't say
pocket it as if it was yours.
Yes, and morality is not an amorphous thing. It happens within context. So there's maybe the religious context. What is morality there? What is the state of the church in Uganda right now? If someone's money falls and you are in church and someone picks it and says, God has blessed me, and pockets it, is that what we are teaching in the churches? And this is what is happening, by the way, where you have some pastors, showing you that sexual immorality, they will have sex with their parishioners. All those things are immoral. Fraud is immoral. People who are taking money. Yesterday I saw, and I'll say this, I saw the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health saying, I diverted money, but it was for a good cause. No, there's no such thing as I diverted money as I wish. I mean, is there no framework? Is there no framework? Was that money not meant for something? Are you coming out to say you're right because that's what you wanted? Are we, as a country, dancing to tunes of individuals? I mean, people have a lot of
individualism in this country and the politics of this country. People make decisions. For example, there is one he's now an RCC of Kampala district, was for Kawempe. He came out and said, we're not going to allow the national platform to enter Kawempe. I'm not. He didn't even say we. He said, I will not. And I was just asking myself, where do you get the mandate of saying you? This is a country governed by many people, 43 million people. You cannot make a decision as an individual about, maybe you can make those decisions in your family, back at home. But not in a public office.
Yeah, and people are coming out and saying these things as if they are normal.
Yes.
I have decided, is there no framework? What guides an RDC?
Because it's even money, and money belongs to the people. It's
who pays you?
Yes.
Who pays you?
And you say, I divert.
If a taxpayer is guilty to that taxpayer. So all those are things related to morality. Yes. And so the moral fiber, there has been moral decadence going on quietly. Although now covertly it's coming out and people can see what is going on.
Is morality the same as discipline?
Discipline is something else. Discipline is following certain rules and regulations accordingly. But morality is that inner set of values that are within you that you will transfer to your children, and those govern a community. Without articulating them, they are there. You know, for example, in a certain school, you don't walk in the grass. It's an unwritten rule, but it is there. Yes, once it is inculcated, it never goes away. You know, for example, I'm not supposed to answer to my elder. When you do that, it's frowned at, and people, even can isolate you. That girl has bad manners.
Values that we have.
So, what is the difference between morality and ethics?
Well, they're almost synonymous, but ethics is also a set.
When you say professional?
Yes. It's professional, but it's a set of values, that guides each profession. But also that guides your heart. So that's why I like to say that they are intertwined with morality. Because some things, legally speaking, can be right. According to the law, it is right. But ethically and morally speaking, it is wrong because, it's not. Okay, let me give you an example. There was this woman the other day who was hitting a child down and almost killed the child, and the woman was escaped and was now being a nanny in some place. When the woman was arrested, there was a very kind policeman who kept saying, don't judge this woman. And now I want to bring out the ethical dilemmas in this case. Don't judge this woman, look at her. And the woman says, we hadn't eaten for 4 days. Does that justify killing of a child? No. We had no food, and then the policeman says, please forgive her. And then for her, she didn't see even the use of apologizing to the nation. This child belongs to the nation. So the ethical dilemma there is, as a mother, even a chimpanzee mother cannot hit a child down like that, even if it is hungry. As a mother, what you have done is wrong. That is where we start from. But if you don't see that it is wrong and you're trying to justify, some ethical standards have gone, there is some moral thing that is lacking in that woman. As a mother, it is expected in society that as a mother we are naturals. If you are a killer, then you are a killer. Let's call you a killer, not a mother. Unless you come out and really apologize in tears, then we will know that maybe something was wrong. But again, ethically, it's punishable. Don't let someone off the hook like that, because it must set a precedent. That is what happens with morality and ethics. If you set a bad precedent, you end up paying for it. What do I mean? This is a legal thing. Precedent is a legal thing. But if you let someone get away with crime, then you are setting a bad precedent. So the next time another person will do it, that's how we end up without the morals. Because we keep compromising until we reach a place where morals don't matter anymore. And that's a chaotic society.
Of course.
Yeah. Society without
we can
moral.
be talking about morality and then we forget culture, because when you talk about morality, culture comes in, but we know culture, there is cultural evolution. The things that maybe were immoral in back in the years, but now we're okay. Is it because we have normalized everything, or we accept that is cultural evolution and people should adopt new things? We shouldn't be living in the back all the time, because now we want to look get a case study in Kalamoja, such that we base our discussion there about dressing, because I may put on a short dress and you call it indecent dressing. That is an for sure that is indecent dressing, by the way, according to them, to his committee. You put on a shoulder going to office, that is indecent. You put on a short skirt or what, they call it indecent dressing. But let us look at this young person that they don't put on anything at all, maybe cover just their private parts. How do you handle that, or how do you call those people? Is it still pornography? Is it indecency? What is this? Because that is culture now.
You have put many things together. You have put culture with pornography, with dressing, because I tell you what, I will give you the Anti-Pornography Act. It has something to do with dressing, because if someone is totally naked, their body parts are pornographic. If they are using them primarily, because that's the law, for sexual excitement. So I don't want us to tie pornography on dressing at all for now. And when it was removed from the miniskirt bill, that's when I understood it. When it had been tied to the miniskirt bill, I had nothing to do with it. So I want us to get this in our brain. Okay, so let's start from culture. Culture is dynamic. It is not static.
Yes.
My great-great-great-grandparents probably wore cowhides and still covered themselves. We read in the Bible that Adam and Eve, when they sinned, then they started putting on clothes.
Yes.
And the good thing is that with the morality that is already in us, we know what is wrong and what is right, usually.
Most times.
Yes. So culture is supposed to help to be like the fulcrum of morality, of ethics. And also, so because culture is dynamic, we should pick out the positive things from culture and leave the negative things. Some things were negative towards women, towards children, brought down children, put down women, put down some men, maybe the disabled. Those we don't want, and those we don't pick from culture. But from culture we can pick. There were some good proverbs, like you made a wrong turn and you met your uncle, and they would just give you one proverb, and you will know, you will know that you are doing something wrong. Those are some of the good attributes that we can pick. I'm not just talking about proverbs, but I'm talking about how culture has also been defiled. Let me use that word. For example, you've seen these bivulus of sengas. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Do you think that is still culture? I don't think so.
But
I think it is. Yes, that's what they say, because they have perverted it. There is perversion of everything nowadays. Even things which were good. If you are a senga, ng'obuulirira omwana kyogenda kufumbirwa, olina okufumba, olina okumanya kufumba, olina okulabira omusajja. Because you're living with this person, you must, do some of these things. Olina okulabirira abaana, olina okulabirira awaka. For some of us who are now educated, you can hire someone to do that, but you must supervise them. But then you get a child who comes on national TV, Angela Katatumba, and says, I don't cook, I don't take care of myself. I'm a queen.
My dad taught me to go out and make money and employ.
You are media people. You know that we are also mentors. To many children we don't even know. So when you're speaking like that, you're mentoring a child. Omwana ajja kuvaayo n'agamba nti Angela Katatumba nga yetabikola, sijja kwoza suwaani. Ebyo munoonya ababikola.
That is what these women are saying, women emancipation. That is what are saying.
No.
They're saying women are no longer in the kitchen.
Maybe.
Women are meant for offices, for big things. That is the assertion.
You see now that is also perverted. You see, anything good can be taken and perverted and becomes something else. if a woman is saying, if a woman is saying, emancipation means that we are also meant for those roles that men are carrying out. I already mentioned, you can hire someone to be your house help because maybe their level of education is low. We are all at different levels in society.
Yes.
But when you bring her also, pay her well, motivate her, let her be a woman, a partner in development. Then for you, you're going to office, but you don't go there and disappear in meetings and the children at home are not taken care of. There you're very unserious woman. Finish what you're doing there, connect with the children, connect with the husband, and connect with the maid. Yes, because you have left her behind and you've delegated work.
Yeah.
You must see how that work is doing. Do lists with her. There's a way you can do your things and you're still in charge at home and you're also in charge in another place. Yes.
Twogera immorals yange onangamba Farida nakugamba oluzungu muluyitiriza naddala ku topics ezitukwata ku mwogera nnyo oluzungu. Next time tubasuubiza tugenda kuba Luganda. Tugenda kuba Luganda ensonga zetwogerako tuzitegeere. There is a question in my inbox and you ask for me ask Dr. Businje to tell me what is pornography.
What is pornography by there? How do you define pornography to that youth out there watching you?
Dr. Anneette Kezaabu. Yes.
Sorry.
Pornography. The definition is very long, but if I can break it down, is, for example, the act of, I'm going to describe it because I don't want to, if I go per definition, she will not understand. It is that act of exposing one's body parts that are sexual. For example, the front part, the behind, for sexual excitement. So the whole thing is about sexual excitement. The things that you can do, and you do them for sexual excitement. Why I am defining it like that is, I have given you an example of the Sengas. Senga Nantume can come out and she is well dressed in a gomesi and does all sorts of vulgar things. She is being pornographic. So see, it's not about dressing, it's about what you do and what you did it for. Imagine if you are a woman and you are at a gynecologist's place, you will open your legs, the gynecologist will look, but that's not for sexual excitement. That within its context, it is acceptable. If you are in Karamoja and people are dressed like that and culturally that's what they accepted, it is not pornography. Do you know when it becomes pornographic? People go there and take pictures from there, bring them, share them, and when they are sharing them, even some people might even masturbate to those pictures. Don't you think that now they have perverted the whole the culture?
Yes,
but the problem is not with the Karamojong person whose breasts are out. The problem with the problem, the producer, the one who took, the one who disseminated, is the one who is disseminating pornography. So, the context matters. If you're at the gynecologist or if you're in Karamoja, you're all right. You're not being pornographic when you expose your body, your body parts. One of the committee members is a doctor. So he was telling us there's this man who, why I brought in the gynecology thing. There is this man who took the wife to the gynecologist. And then he looked for a crack, a place where he can look into the room where they are.
What the doctor is doing.
Yes, so when that part came and he saw what was happening, he came banging at the door and said, I've caught you. I have caught you. No, there is nothing that was going on here. This is the procedure. I mean, they had to explain to the man that there was no problem. So there was no pornography there, except the voyeur, the one who was looking through the ventilator is the one who was a problem.
Doctor, what about these music videos of today we watch, and there are a lot of women shaking their behinds and, you know, putting on short, skimpy shorts and, you know, isn't that part of sexual enticement?
Yes.
So it also falls in pornography?
It falls under pornography. We've called these people, we have spoken. Now what we remain with is to remove some of these videos. You're going to see a lot of that in this year.
But does your committee have that mandate?
Yes, it does.
To remove content of somebody?
Yes, it does. How it does is that we work with UCC. So we will just make a phone call to UCC and they will remove that video and they will ban that, which we have been avoiding because we also, morally speaking, we saw that these are young people who need to first of all be spoken to. You've seen me calling some people and speaking to some musicians who were going off board. Because I believe that some of them don't even know it's a problem, but of course some know. But I also know that some of them think that it's a livelihood. That's where they will get school fees to pay for their children. But there are decent ways of doing things. So when we call them, those are some of the things we speak about. People write undertakings not to do some of these things. We have done that for most of our time. But I think time to now do arrests, because at first we thought people are not yet aware of some of these things, whether they are against the law or not. We raised awareness. We have called some people and spoken to them. So the next course of action is to apprehend them.
At just 55 minutes past 7 a.m., I think we're going to go for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to delve more into this particular topic. But we're going to be also speaking a bit of Luganda for our other viewers who really like it in Luganda. So let's go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we talk about pornography. We delve into it, the causes, what has caused this moral degeneration. And then we find solutions.
Get back to where we were?
If we were there, I think we were there.
We were there.
In my era, I've really seen what she's talking about is what is prevalent. A lot of pornography. Yeah, in this era, my dear.
When I was young, I never used to see them.
That means we are from different generations. Let's go for a short commercial break. Farida has officially accepted that she's older than me.
Yeah,
we're coming back. It's still the right thing, right? My name is Edgar, Mathew, Karuhanga. Let's go for a
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Have you held a peaceful demonstration by holding a placard or won a shot communicating about injustices? Is it a speech about rights? Are they for women, children, youths, people with disabilities, elderly, environmental or lands? Do you know you're a human rights defender? Are you threatened, harassed, intimidated, illegally arrested, detained, tortured or imprisoned as a result of defending rights? If you have experienced any of the forementioned, please reach out to National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders Uganda for assistance on their toll-free number 0800 100 250 or visit their offices located in Ntinda, Kampala, Semawata Road. Defending rights is constitutional. Please don't shy away.
The world is at a critical moment of providing innovative alternatives as a means to create change.
As such, we have created a not-for-profit alternative mobile digital platform as a way to promote space for freedom of speech and expression to the unheard voices.
We know you believe in the cause and you can further it more by contributing to its sustainability in forms of internet data, fuel, and any other support you deem relevant.
Please support us with your contribution to Equity Bank account number 103-5201-607252 under the name Alternative Digital, or our mobile money numbers 0702 900076 or 0783 047785. Alternative Digitalk, real issues, real talk.
Have you read a book that makes you want to shout the title from a rooftop? If you haven't, then here is that book, The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law and Government by retired Justice Professor George Wilson Karuhanga. Renowned Kenyan jurist and panelist Professor P.L. Olumumba and many other amazing speakers will grace the event. Do not miss the book launch on March 26, 2021, 2 p.m. at Imperial Real Hotel. The ticket comes with a book, all this at just 200,000 shillings. Call 0702 9000 76 or 0783 04 7785 to get the book or follow up on the launch. This event is organized by Alternative Digitalk in partnership with retired Justice Professor George Wilson Karuhanga.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Ndoza tenda wera na sawa bidi zenyini. We are in the second hour program echali The Mighty Drive. Amanya gangenze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga ndino mchala Farida Bikobere ne Dr. Anneette Kezaabu ye Chairperson wa Uganda Pornography Control Committee. Tuchali naye wononga twogera ku nsonga ezikwata ku values, moral values, obaba kyogera batya mu Luganda ekyo moral values. Empisa neeyisa y'obuntu. Neeyisa y'obuntu byetwogerako naye nga tetunabayingira mu second hour okwogera ku why do we need these moral values. Katusooke mbajjukize nti mu nnaku 5 tugenda kuba tulaunchinga akatabo ka Justice George Wilson.
Zikyali 5 lowooza tulina 4.
Kati ziba 4 anti tuba tuluyingidde. Yes, kati tusigaze ennaku 4 zennyini okubanga tulaunchinga akatabo bana etiketi ya mitwalo kati 10 era tugenda bera wali ku Imperial ennaku z'omwezi 26 omwezi guno ogwokusatu omwaka 2021. Bantu bangi abagenda obeera guno omukolo
ategeze bana Uganda bajja kujja tugambye tiketi ya 10 tekugirako katabo ofuna tiketi ekuyingiza nenga tekuli katabo.
Kati akatabo ko togenda kafunya ku mitwalo 10 weyagala katabo osasula ndoze mitwalo
2. Yes,
naye nga kyekyo kigenda maaso ku nnaku z'omwezi 26 tulina PLO Lumumba agenda kubeerayo. Tulina chief guest ye Jacob Olanya, tulina aba speaker mama Mbabazi Dr. Lina Zedriga, tulina abogezi bangi bagenda kubeerawo ku saa 8 zennyini nga 26 Friday eno yennyini tugenda kubeera wali ku Imperial Royal. Tukyeyongerayo n'omukyala Dr. Annette wano ku The Mighty Drive. Ndoza katuyingire mu moral values. Why do we need these moral values, Doctor? And you can even elaborate more on the moral values. What are these moral values and why do we need them? Lwaki tuzeetaaga ndoza tuyingire Oluganda. Lwaki twetaaga zino empisa z'obuntu?
Kati wengenda mu Luganda empisa ennungi tuzeetaaga lwakuba nti siteeka nti kiriwo nti omuntu azaalibwa azitegeera era olina ozimuyigiriza omuntu. Omwana bw'aba akula bagamba omwana bw'omuyigiriza kyalina okumanya bw'akula takivaako. Actually ekyo kiri mu Bayibuli. Nti yigiriza omwana ekkubo lyalina okutambuliramu bw'akula tajja ddivaamu. Kati tuteekwa okuyigiriza omwana oyo ate ekirala tuteekwa naffe kulaga kale action speak louder than words.
You can mix Luganda English kwanguyiriza.
Yes. Kati omuntu bwoba okola kirala ate onjigiriza kirala oba ondetera confusion.
Oyogera ku soda onywa mwenge.
Kati obeera maama waka ogamba abantu babukulu tebabaddamu kyokka gwe odirira kitaawo omwana oyo n'ovuma n'oteeka wali kati omwana
bera ate abaana bwe baba bakula zekimanya abaana balabira ku bakulu baabwe tebatera nnyo owuliza by'obagambye naye how you act kyebatera okufaako
ekyo one time nayina omwana mu motoka omwana wange ng'omuntu mulala avuga kati ndowooza n'afuna road rage kubanga waliwo omuntu eyamusazaamu bw'ati kali kumpi omutomera n'agamba bagarof saakifaako afterwards nembeera n'omwana wange kumala 5 days ng'agamba ekigambo bagarof ate ng'akigamba n'amaanyi ate nga wa myaka 2 ayiga bigambo gamba bagarof neŋŋamba kino ekigambo kyavuddewa nga nze saakyogera tesobola kyogera myaka yali ng'esatu nemugamba nti bagarof kitegeeza ki nagamba do you remember uncle so and so bagarof I said oh so yakimuyigiriza omwana n'akikwata so ebigambo byetwogera awaka oluusi tuyina bwe tuba tu expecting empisa tuyina kubeera nazo ekyokusatu nti mu society yaffe kati kyetuliko abantu bonna banoonya livelihood omuntu adduka nagenda mu katale abaana tuba neglectinze ate neglect eyo kibeeramu nti n'okubayigiriza empisa tekiriiwo kati osanga omwana omuntu gwoleka waka that's why I emphasized earlier nti n'omukozi ewaka muyise bulungi bw'omuyisa bubi omwana akulaba agenda kola ki agenda kukwata empisa z'oyo omukozi ate ekinaavaamu oyinza n'okuluzinga oyo omwana then ekirala lwaki twetaaga empisa lwaki twetaaga okuyigiriza empisa ensi eno both nationally Uganda muno mu ggwanga lyaffe walimu ebintu ebyesitaza mu mpisa mu buli kimu omwana bw'aba talina foundation eyo everything toxic bwe kijja akyabsorbinga naye bw'omuteekamu ekyo kati waliwo ekintu nti omuntu agamba nti abaana ba international schools babeera spoiled omwana akomawo n'aŋŋamba nti waliwo this attitude wembeera abantu balowooza nti nze n'empisa embi neŋŋamba nti kituufu abantu bayonona baana na sente tagamba wamma at school abaana baleeta sente nyingi ate bonna kati teri alina akyayagala okukola some of them are dropping out and saying they're going to do music they don't even have the talent they are confused I said yes because they were not taught from the beginning that this is a problem for you you have to know you're from another home and this home we do A we do B we do C so in other words if I don't put that foundation I shouldn't expect even if I buy the whole of Kololo the houses and I give to my child she can never amount to anything she would just at best sell everything off you've seen such people sell everything off enjoy life and then it's finished and they are left destitute and such a person of course cannot do anything for themselves.
How will these rich parents, how can these rich parents do it? Because some of them think of money is the source of I don't know happiness or something because they give their children a lot of money and sometimes money can corrupt and we've seen many of these kids going rogue to some extent. How can a rich parent have very morally upright children at the same time ngabana tebabunda nyonga sinti bakaba maluma nga balina akasente naye nga n'empisa bazirina bakikola batya kino ekintu
munange empisa rich first of all bafuna batya riches ezo people have swindled government money
of course
and now they think they are rich and they have trained their children not to do anything omwana bamutwala ne bamusindika away from here maybe Malaysia or where they go and study some course they come back here they say I want to be an entrepreneur immediately I am not against entrepreneurship but this person has no skills of administering even that entrepreneurship they are talking about they have no skill of dealing with people are just rags to you know so how do you deal in business where is the ethic in business it's not there is no ethic in dealing with people so the parents especially who have stolen the money I am sorry but I will say this because when you have worked for your money, there is a way from the beginning. You respect it, and you respect people. If someone is earning for me and is working in my shop, I am not there, but they are honest, I will reward them. I will not take them as my worker, and you know, when I say worker, you know what that means. So in other words, those should be even partners. That's why I've said even a house help is your partner as a wife at home. So you have talked about riches. Yes, some people have acquired money wrongly usually, and then so they didn't have those values, or even if they had them, they think that now they've arrived and now that's a different matter. That's why in Uganda, for those kinds of monies, I would have had time to talk about corruption. Those are some of the things it births. People have not worked for the money they have, so all they think about is opulence. If I have a house on top of Nakasero, and I have a car, and I have a ranch, and I can treat anybody the way I want, and I don't have to speak to my children. They have everything they need.
Yes.
If a child comes say, "Daddy, yeah, you need an iPad?" Give you an iPad, you leave me alone. I continue.
Not even listen to what they actually say.
Yes, so children are neglected in those homes, and they are teaching them not wealth, creating wealth, but they are teaching them amassing ill-gotten, riches, which in the end are the undoing of Uganda. You find one person has the money of a whole county, sub-county, a whole district.
Constituency, a whole constituency.
One person. But they have amassed it at the expense of the taxpayer.
That was getting $1 billion per day. That one person has money that can.
There is an individual here, by the way,
in
Doctor.
Yes.
It was alleged. I don't want to say it was fact, but it was alleged that this gentleman was amassing over $1 billion shillings per day. In terms of, I don't know his dealings he was making, but he was making close to $1 billion shillings. He's now a member of Parliament elect. Yes.
Yeah, you watch it.
Shema, I think.
I come from Shema.
Yeah. I think you know that.
No, I went with him to school.
Okay.
Now, ill-gotten wealth ends in a place. Even if I was speaking to him directly, he was my junior. I mean, like one class below me. Ill-gotten wealth always has an end. People should always think about that. Ill-gotten wealth ends somewhere. If you think about that, then you think about morality. So when you get that money, so what do you do with it? Oh, he ended up giving out most of it to... But was that the way? Did he not deprive his nation of resources that could have been used to build hospitals? Those things, the opportunity cost of when you steal the money, what gets left behind will come back to haunt you. I want Ugandans to know that. It definitely comes back and haunts you.
I think many of the government, employees should know this, that it comes back to haunt them at the end of the day. But let's delve back into the morality. To what extent has the church really stepped up the morality in the youths, in the people themselves? Because we're predominantly looking at youths as being immoral, but there are many adults that are very immoral. But to what extent has the church done its part in shaping morality? Or is it actually still shaping morality? That is also a question.
You know, when I'm watching, when I'm looking through social media, there are so many things even the youth really ask. And for me, that is what had prompted me to talk about morality today. People ask questions which are very important, but they never get answered. Where is this country going? Who is teaching our children? Who is teaching our young brothers and sisters? Who are our mentors? Do we have mentors anymore in our nation?
We do, but they're very few.
No, those are the questions they ask. Who are our mentors? Where is this country going? If this is a fountain of honor, is this a fountain of honor or a fountain of dishonor? Those are some of the questions that people ask. Where is the church? Now I'm going back to the role of the church. Well, not just the church, but the mosque. the temples.
Religious institutions.
Where are they? I'm a Christian, so I'll speak as a Christian. The church in Uganda, starting from Church of Uganda, and I'm deeply involved with Church of Uganda, I'm deeply involved in some of these Pentecostal churches. The church has betrayed Uganda.
That's a very strong statement, Doctor.
Very strong. The church has betrayed Uganda. And I say that actually with emotion. How? The church is supposed to work, you know, to protect the citizenry, to speak out for the downtrodden. But what is happening right now is even the things we never used to see, the conflicts in the church, things involving women, things which were unheard of, money laundering in church. There was, in Church of Uganda, we were fighting with the problem of people bringing out people of good moral fiber to showcase them as what were they calling them? Canons and development pillars. You know that whole thing. Yeah. Now, people were bribing. A bishop comes, they give him many cows. Whoever has given a cow becomes a canon or a development pillar. We found that so many people attained that. And those are the most corrupt now, because they would come, pose in a church, even build one. There is a guy here, I know, who got a lot of money from stealing. Went back, built a big church where he will be worshipped, let's just say. Because in the whole church is the one who pays the whole everything to the archdeaconry. So his name is sung, they bring gifts from archdeaconry, bring to him. Meanwhile, here in Kampala is so wealthy. Okay, let me not even go there very much, but you have known that some even deacons could pay and, you know. So, you've seen people, something is wrong, they are invited to State House, given envelopes, and they have forgotten what the scriptures say about the very issue they had called them to talk about. We have the Interreligious Council. I'm sorry, but when I look at them, these ones who are trying to fly the
pigeons also said no.
Yeah, the pigeons refused. The church has betrayed the country. The mosques are also not really speaking against immorality. The temples, that one I don't know even what is happening, but the church has betrayed the country. I'm talking about Pentecostal churches, I'm talking about every church.
These statements have been made by opposition cadres mostly. Don't you think, doesn't that, your statements put you in a position of, you know, you're trying to turn the gun to the government? Won't that bring a bit of any conflict to you or something like that?
Oh. For me, I speak for morals. I don't care. I cannot be fitted, right now, I cannot be fitted in any box. The box of opposition, I'm opposing what? I'm opposing immorality. Yes, so I'm opposition in that sense. I'm opposing immorality, I'm opposing corruption, I'm opposing fraud, I am opposing any kind of thing that makes the downtrodden become even more downtrodden. Even if it means unemployment, if employment is favoring a few people and throwing away others, I oppose it. So then I am in opposition. And some opposition people also make some statements and I don't see any value in them. So I will again speak against them. Why? Because I believe that there must be a generation, in this generation there must be some people who will stand up and speak against the wrongs that are happening. One of the ways of discouraging us from speaking is putting us in boxes. If I say this, then I'm a chipinga, I'm opposition. Or if I say this, then I'm pro-movement. Therefore, I'm now speaking like, what is this girl? The full one.
Full figure.
No, I will not speak like anybody, and I will not be put in any box.
She's a full figure.
Our studio line is 0789 017 145 0789 017 145. You can call in and ask any questions. We have a doctor in the studios. By the way, see Dr. Anti Musawo waba tunedda.
Dr. Wabitabo.
Dr. Wabitabo. So mizogamba ate batulete Musawo Musawo wabitabo si w'abantu oyinza okuva esimu ate n'obuuza musawo ate olubuto lunnuma ku makya ennyo nga n'akazuukuka si musawo w'abantu nti yasoma busawo naye nga ekitiibwa bakikuwa olw'ebitabo ebingi by'oba osomye. So nange we have Dr. Annette in the studios twogera morals. Zo zigenze wansi. Why do we need morals? Bwe tuli awo lwaki tuzeetaaga kuba kikisinga obunene nnyo oyinza okuba nazo naye nga tumanyi ne lwaki oyinazo. Bw'oli awo you just have your morals. Anyway, do they even pay? Kyetusookedde agamba yes they pay. So why do we need them? Bwe tuli awo. So Dr. Osobola twongerayo why we need morals. You said you have a lot of reasons to tell people why they need to have good morals.
Yes. Now, there is something that I want to ask you. Did you know that every country has a soul?
Soul?
Like you have a body, a soul, and a spirit. Omwoyo gw'eggwanga.
Yes.
And do you know that that soul or spirit is created?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Now, morality is one of the things, if you want to create the soul of a country, is one of the things you inculcate in citizens. I am not making comparisons, God forbid. But someone can be termed as a dictator, for example. If you go to Rwanda, you just don't throw things around.
Yes.
But they have created the soul of a country and now we have started seeing it. Although we are looking at it and saying, on one hand, it is with intimidation and it is with... But then you will find that bribing a Rwandan person might be harder.
Difficult, yes.
Why? They say, first of all, I'm Rwandan, then I'm everything else. So how does that compare with the soul of Uganda? Do your homework.
Ugandans, just, okay, you can finish so that I can give you an information you want to know about. Kenya, when they are doing their corruption and things like that, there are some things they don't touch. Things like medicines, things that are vital. They will not steal money for medication, money for food, money for education. But here in Uganda, whether it's medicine, is it education, everything is taken. We no longer have a soul at the end of the day. Because
but do we have a soul in the back?
Maybe we did. I don't know. I wasn't
the soul of a country can be reconstructed even in a year. Let me go to Tanzania. They've just lost a leader. The soul of Tanzania was constructed by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. Whatever ideology he had is what he gave to the people, and he did not compromise on one thing. For example, education, Swahili language, some of these things are flawed. It's not that they are perfect. But he constructed the soul of a nation. So Tanzanians have never gone to war. They've never gone to war to fight for power because it's already
imprinted
in them that, oh, let's agree. Someone has died today. We have announced. Before they announced, they first did their background checks and what? They've decided it's this woman. The next day, the body is still in the mortuary. They have this one is sworn in. Nobody is saying anything against her. There is no... That is the soul of Tanzania. And I'm not comparing a country against another.
Sometimes we need to do that comparison, Doctor, for the good of the country.
Just think about ours, even if they knew that this person has got, like, God forbid, anything. People will start plotting, but differently. And where would that leave us? So, there is a soul that has been constructed, even in these 34 years.
Doctor, is someone calling? I think let's first get them and hear what they are saying. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome to the Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar.
Good morning, I'm Herbert.
Yes, Herbert.
So I have not followed the entire show from morning. I wanted to ask Dr. Kezaabu.
Yes.
Isn't this double expenditure? Because there is a ministry fully concerned, and that is the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity. And then you have her heading another committee. So do they work together? Are they parallel? Like with anti-corruption that falls of State House, and you have IGG's office, you have DPP. So don't you think we are spending a lot of money into fragmenting this smaller unit, but doing the same work?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Herbert. Where are you calling from?
Liantonde.
Liantonde. Okay. Thank you so much, Herbert. The doctor will be answering your questions. Okay. Doctor, do you mind if you first answer?
You know, let's answer the question, and I hear him. Herbert, I hear you. But let me explain. It's no longer even a ministry. Did you know? It's just a directorate now. So it was cut down to cut down expenditure. It has a few people, the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity.
There's another call online. Okay, let us just compile all of them and
I think that's better.
Yes, welcome to the Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Henry.
Yes, Henry.
Hello?
Yes, Henry, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Masaka.
Yes, Henry from Masaka.
I want to thank Doctor for the latest liberations.
Yes.
But then, as the moral of the nation is degenerating, what could be the possible solutions that are to the situation?
What could be the possible solutions for what?
That can salvage the situations of moral decadence in this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Henry.
You're welcome.
Right. Do we have another call online? I think, Doctor, you can search within this global expenditure.
Herbert and then Henry. I was speaking to Herbert and saying that the Directorate, the Ethics and Integrity is no longer a ministry. Although there is a minister, he is under the President's office. So that expenditure was really cut down. And then secondly, the Pornography Control Committee is not a permanent committee. It is like, I don't go to work every day. I can even go once a month, and which I think was badly constructed because they were trying to save money. The work is enormous, but what was put there was like a board. It should be a commission or something bigger than that, because of the role of the Anti-Pornography Committee. In Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, there is the Directorate of Religious Affairs. There is the Directorate of, it's not the Department of Religious Affairs, Department of Ethics, Legal Department. Those are small departments, but the Pornography Control Committee is not one of them. It's just like a board that meets once in a while to deliberate on issues. And the money that is paid to it is very small. It started as 2 billion, and I'm not afraid to say this. Then it was reduced to very little money, maybe a sixth of that. It ended up, sometimes we even get like 200 billion only, to go around the nation for the whole quarter. So it doesn't do much, but also, he's talking about the IGG's office. Now let me speak as Dr. Anneette Kezaabu.
And what's her name? The Lieutenant Colonel? She talked about her also.
No, there are so many. And so I see what Herbert is saying.
Yes.
The Committee of Against Pornography is a very valid committee that is needed at this time. And so are all these other things. But there's a problem. That they are all affected by corruption. Still it follows, even those who are supposed to stop the corrupt become corrupt. That is the problem in Uganda. But that is where you should put, that is where the next generation or the alternate, people who are creating the alternative Uganda, those are the things they should center on. If you allowed me, even if you gave me the whole fighting corruption by myself, I know the things I would do. Okay. But right now, they are affected by corruption.
Let's pick up another call and we will answer the one on moral degeneration. Hello and welcome to the Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga.
Yes, Karuhanga, James.
Yes, Wankambo. Where are you calling from? Yes, Sevo. Abasumba badda ku ndiga ne bazeddiza. Abeezaalamu otegeeza baani abo?
Abooluganda oli n'Aganda mu Uganda kumanyina anda kusengeramu.
Kale weebale nnyo Ssewankamba, okubidde wa?
Ndi wano Lwengo.
Okay, Lwengo. Thank you so much abantu abakubira babeera wala litwafuna ow'embalala tulina ab'ekasese mwebale nnyo okubanga mulaba the Mighty Drive all over Uganda. I think, Doctor, let's first start with this person.
Henry.
Question. Yeah, no.
Oh, this one.
So yeah. Talked about pastors, preying on their sheep. And then he talked about incest. So first,
incest just ennyo mukana akadde ka COVID nti abaana abazadde bakojja kati bonna babadde waka osanga. Last time I was reading a story ng'omukyala agamba mwana we omulenzi afunyisizza batoobe babiri embuto. Brother ng'onadda ku batoobo abawala ababiri abato abamuddako bonna nga bali embuto naye ng'ate embuto za brother waabwe omukulu. So you can imagine.
Yeah, let's talk about these pastors and incest. Let's start with pastors preying on their sheep.
Yeah, sadly, again going back to the soul of the nation. I want to say something about information. Nature abhors vacuum. Obutonde bworekako gap. Bwina kye buteekako okufiiringa gap eyo. Kati singa tutandikira waka mu nursery. If I was in the National Curriculum Development Center, I would start from there and put some courses for children, in the curriculum about bad touches, they tried to do that, but they made it worse. They made it even more immoral than anything else. They made the children to enjoy, the bad part. So they didn't do it properly. But it is one thing that must be taught. I was talking about morality from the beginning. Bwe tuba twogera ku mpisa munno bwagwa wansi okola ki? Ogamba sore n'omuyambako. Naye kati children don't even know that is possible or expected. Yo n'adduka. Omuntu bw'agwa ku accident okola ki bw'oba olina motoka? Oteekamu abantu n'obaddukizaawa mu ddwaliro. Naye omulekawo na bleeding to death. No taking ekifaananyi n'ogenda ku social media. Waliwo abafudde wano, as if you are enjoying that. Those are the things that we can teach our children. Saying sorry. We are talking about things which can even make his marriage later, survive. Saying sorry, being grateful. An ungrateful child, do you know what that means for society? And if we have many of those, do you know what that means? Rude people, do you know what kind of bullying can be in schools, and do you know later what it produces? In other words, those small things that we have ignored, let's go back. Then omusumba. Nze njagala banange bakwata abasumba abagenda ku ndiga zaabwe ne bazaalamu abaana ne bakola buli kimu bye bakola ebyo byempulira. Ebirala, some people have brought them to us. And usually me and now make it a legal thing and police and go to court. Now, there must even be a law that outlaws some of those churches. If it is known, you're outlawed and you're out of business, because for them it's business. That is my take.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Yeah, thank you, the Mighty Drive, for this wonderful. So this morning, and thank you for always updating us.
Okay. Yeah, who am I talking to and where are you calling from?
I am called Moses from Barara.
Yes, Moses.
And basically my concern is about the morality and the laws. Do you think that what is not wrong is also wrong in the law? Should we not accept the law because it does not actually incorporate some of the good things? What should we do? How can doctor advise us on the same? Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. Okay. So that is what Moses is asking, and
we still have Henry's question,
yeah.
but then let's go. Is conclusive, so we could bring it to the end now. Okay, Moses, I don't know. Let me make an assumption. Ngor kurgambarra na gambori nyankwe. Hati kurgaira nira haka hataba hona berajiro. Konke berajiro bikija byazaho. Inazo bateka kwebira ebiragiro kubanga abantu morality bari bagiva ko mpora mpora.
Morality was the actual law at that time.
We later look at the laws that came, the Hammurabi's tablet. You know, the way the law evolved. It was it was like some of these things had punitive measures, but punitive measures were not strong enough. So morality enhances the law, and the law strengthens morality. That is how it is supposed to be. They are mutually inclusive. They are not exclusive at all. Even by the time you take something to the law, you see that morally it's already wrong. By the time umuntu akube nduru, abala bantu ekiriwo chicham. Even why people are talking about incest. Incest is there in the law, by the way. Yes. There is a law against incest. But morally, it is because people have been groomed. Kitandika mpola mpola. Chiyinza nokutandikira mu culture, by the way. Bona omwana bamuyigiriza nti nze ndi anko we naye ndi bawo. Waliyo biwulideko ebyo. Biri wrong kubanga you're grooming the child omugamba nti nsobola kuba bawo. Kati next time nkutwara kubali nenkolaga baba ne ba mama bye bakola, then they identify the child, but using something which was a joke in the culture. So grooming.
Always hear those jokes. Mchala.
No. Tokirizanga omwana wo kumuyita mchala. So for Moses in Mbarara, I want to say the law enhances morality, and morality enhances the law. Omuntu bwabalema mu community mumuwayo mbiragiro naye kye tusobola kumalira wano ku LC tukimalirawo kukuba emboko tuzikukuba nosigalawo naye the law might say that you're taking the law into your hands. Oba okubulirira n'omuntu nzo mubulira naye bwakiddamu ate muzeeri ku police kubira police. So these are mutually inclusive, not exclusive.
Yeah, Kati, let's talk about his questions. What are the possible solutions for this moral degeneration?
The possible solutions. Number one, let's go back. Vision 2040 and that National Development Plan propose very important things. One of them is, national service. They plan to educate national, like how in Nigeria they have the National Youth Service, but here national service, that anybody who is entering public service, for example, there are some things that will be taught, and one of them will be the moral ethical standards of Uganda, the soul of Uganda. They are proposing that, and if it's done properly, that should be a good solution. Number two, teaching children the way they should go when they are young. I've talked about all those small things. I'm sorry. Naikati omwana bomukwataka alimba immediately. Also teaching people that lying is a terrible thing. Musanga nga yimirira gamba nze mbadde nebase wansi. Nga umulabye kati no kati agenda kubeera adults kyoyo. Omubbi. So the things we are seeing in children that worry us should be corrected at a young age. Number three, there should be double punishment. Number four, people who are calling themselves leaders should work by example. If you're leading and we see a loophole, there should be some censorship, or there should be a mechanism to remove you actually. Many people in those developed countries that we say tebaina mpisa, ate olusi batusingako empisa kuba fe tuvude mabega, the things which were protecting us, like the culture of knowing that you're wrong and you give a fine. We no longer have them. But these people in developed countries are bwebamugamba nti you have done something wrong, kyavayo okukola first is to resign.
Yeah, of course.
Oba omulimu gwe gubadde guyingiza gutya tajja kubuzaabuza. Morale aba amanyi nti bankutte. Let me put my hands up. Aye wano. Hey. Ate tebamusika nayo. Tebamusika nayo kubanga what has happened in our nation is that some of these are cartels. People work together. Even the people abali supposed musika yo. Omuntu agamba nti nze ngena mu park. That is the parliamentary account. Yeah. Abasasude buli omu. Kati agenda yo bakora rehearsal ne bakora katemba n'avaayo. Sente zigenze nyingi naye inayo balance yo kusasula anti abantu abo. So ogenda kuwulira omuntu ngagamba kati oyo teyasasude. Oyo nga musiru.
Doctor, bino ebintu byembadde mukola ebya National Development Plan nezino
Vision
2040 bitera nnyo koma mu bigambo mu bipapula zino naye nga wotuuka mu actual implementation oba ekiri ku ground tebiri implemented. Otukakasa otya nti zino ideas zeba pitching in these particular documents zinaaba zitya respected and upheld at the end of the day?
That remains my sincere wish, because I am not responsible for implementing them. Okay. I just referred to them as documents of government, actually signed. The preface is given by the President of the Republic of Uganda. Na ina responsibility nene ao. Kuchintu cha corruption ina responsibility nene. Bwana rewarding abantu abakora corruption, abalala balabirawo. Ne bagamba olinga. Kati, for example, for me, if the PS yesterday said, yes, I diverted money, it was for a good cause, who are you to divert money without going back to the people who gave you the money to use it for that particular use? So do you have powers above that, awarding? So in other words, that person should be held accountable publicly. We see, they have, bamukanga vudemu, ekitegeeza nti mulagenda chikola asoka chirozaako. So the president has a very big responsibility there. That's Vision 2040, although we haven't reached there, and the one of 2025, because he's now the sitting president, is about to be sworn in. He has to make sure that those things work, because look at it this way. He's about to reward people and give them ministries. He's about to reward people, and most of these positions is the one who gives them. If he rewards the wrong people, forget the Vision 2040. But of course, I don't want to speak like that about my country. I want to believe that he will make the right moves. He himself has come out and said, I have been with corrupt people. I have been with Kawukumi. I've been with, he has many, we've been with us. He has many names for them. But once he has understood, because he has a whole national intelligence around him, he should use that intelligence to know the right people and reward the right people to do the right work for the nation and turn around what we are not famous for that is not good.
But Doctor, we really know, the president knows these challenges.
Yes, he does. Burundi.
Na president to be taken ye over implementation in Uganda, because the IGG yachogerako recent ndoza nagamba president buli wennonya abantu ababba sente z'abantu babeera mugongo gwo babeera in the back of the president. But how is it that the president is going to start implementing what he really, because he knows the challenges, he knows these things, abyogera abimanyi naye implementation ekyabuze ye nga yacho agenda kikola atya
kati awo simanyi kubanga it is up to him to redeem that image, because of course posterity will judge him either harshly or favorably. For me, if I was to speak to him, I would say, use these 5 years to turn things round. How many years did Magufuli do?
5.
Yeah, and he was called the bulldozer, and he bulldozed, and he did what he did, and he exited the way he exited.
He even brought a country from third class to a middle income country.
By not doing much, by tightening nuts. Why can't President Museveni do the same? Tighten nuts in places where there is corruption. All those billions you're talking about, one person getting per day. Do you know how much it can do in the health sector? Do you know how much it can do in the educational sector? Do you know? And also, so it's up to him. And 5 years is a lot for you to have done to redeem the picture. Do you know that all these things of the 34 years can be forgotten if he redeems this picture in these 5 years? So that's an appeal of all Ugandans. Redeem, redeem, redeem the soul of the nation. Take it away from all these jackals that are tearing it apart.
Okay. Just 15 minutes to 9 a.m. tunatera okumaliza show yaffe. Farida, do you have any comments to go through on Facebook? Yes. In the meantime, ngochali mukubanonya, Doctor, there's something about the westernization of culture today. Many people believe Bazungu are doing it, and you know, young people, they allude to these people. And when he's wearing these
Uganda ne bagenda okusomera ebweru bakomawo era olaba akolera nanti oyo asomera bweru.
How do we deal with this situation of westernization of culture?
And you know, westernization, globalization are not bad things at all, but it is what we do with them. There is something that we talked about at the beginning, and I still remember it. Charity begins at home. Charity begins when somebody is young, but charity begins at home. When you have taught your child some values, when they go, they will see this as an external thing. And I have, you know, I know this like firsthand. There can be peer pressure, but there are 3 things, for example, I would teach my daughter, and I always do. Number 1, to give her a certain identity. Who am I? Nzani, mvawa, ndi muwala wani, ngenda wa. So, who am I? Number 2, what surrounds me? They have to be aware of the environment and still stay true to their values. So, who am I? What surrounds me? And where do I want to go in life? Really, what's my destiny? When those 3 philosophical questions are answered by a child, of course simplified to their level. Nzani, omwana wa gundi tavuma, omwana wa gundi teyisa bwati, omwana wa gundi toja musanga nga yambadde bwati, omwana wa gundi talaba pornography, omwana wa gundi takola bino. Oba nze ng'omwana gwe bayigiriza empisa as a Christian, nebyo byonna osobola kukozesa from the religious perspective, or as a Muslim, as a good Muslim child, what am I supposed to be? Ebyo byonna omwana bw'omuyigiriza ne bw'afuna peer pressure etya tasobola kukavinga in. Naye oli avudde eri bambi talina. I've said nature abhors a vacuum. Wherever there's a vacuum, something comes and fills it. Aja has no idea about life. Batuka bwasanga abantu batekinga ebintu naye bwakyo bwagenda nabyo kwegamba no moral fiber and no moral compass. Omwana abula kuba kubula western, what we are saying western influence, kuba kubula wagamba nti nze ebyo sibikola. Omwana wange ngugambye ali 17 now, ali mu international school, naye bamukubira mbampulira agamba I can't join that kind of party. No, it's against what it's not even, she's not referring to parents. It's against what I believe.
You have values as a person.
Yeah. So I know who I am, so I will not participate in that. And even if they ridicule her and say, but the party is hot, kakati gwe, oli conservative, oli mukade. Hagamba, maybe I belong in another generation, but I'm not going to participate. Omwana bwatandikira wansi. I'm sorry to give myself as an example, it's not acceptable sometimes. But mwana bwamutandikira wansi, there is no way they will get lost. So abaana temubaleka kukula ng'emiti. Emiti gye gikula ne giteeka amatabi we gyagala. Naye omwana olina okubeera nga busaawa yonna. Through examples, at dinner table, speak things. Don't stop. speak things. Those things will build your child even when you are not alive.
Okay. So can you give us some of those comments on Facebook? Dr.
We have a lot of comments, but we don't have questions today. Mwami Crescent Nahami agamba he is watching from Lagos. Asimye nnyo dokita yebale okusomesa eggwanga. Robert J tulyakira okuva wali mu Keys and Mugisha Advocates. Naye kwali agamba good stuff here webale fulaba ate council Robert tulyakira. Abalabye mwena atwemelireho Alex, you watching and following keenly. Thank you doctor for your great deliberations. That is atwemelireho Alex. Jeremiah Mchivi is watching. Tumusime kato a lot of comments but no questions wanabona abasimye ndogoza bayize. Ababadde ko kubadde kusoma leero mpisa morals ndoza mwena ababadde ko nakwali kusimyera muyize.
Atwongereyo ku some of the solutions
and the solutions and
moral degeneration. To way of solutions, what should we do in a wrap up before we end the show?
Kati mu byobadde oyogera waliwo ekintu kyolese ate nekinsigalamu ekintu kya Western influence, globalization. It is the one that has led to the moral degeneration. Did you know that there are moral values that are universal? Buri country is expecting, for example, you are always expected to be honest in any country. You are expected to be aware of your environment in any country. In other words, when you say you are ignorant of something, they look at you as someone who did not take your time to find out what it's supposed to be. And we talked about young people using that as an excuse. Yeah, but you should find out. You should be aware. Yeah. Compassion in every part of the world. Everybody is expected to be compassionate. In every part of the world, you're supposed to have determination. If you're a slacker and a couch potato, we have children coming from the village, or even, someone comes to stay with you. They only think they wake up, wash their face, sit in the sitting room and watch TV. They call them for lunch. They call them for dinner. That universally, you cannot do that in an American home for 2 weeks. Not even 3 days. I've stayed in some homes in America. I get up and I throw my weight around because people have bought the food. You want them to cook it and feed you. Are you a duckling? Then self-reliance. Omusajja oba omukazi omutuufu oyina okwefaako ne weerabirira. Wotatuuka osobola kusaba abantu bakuyambe. Naye gwe otuulawo nti you're going to beg everybody. Naye you're begging people to... Oba okulaba omusajja nti omusajja akuwe. Naawe beerako kyogula n'akisanga waka. That is when you can be together for a very long time. Naye gwe you're expecting always for him to give you really. Even if I was the sister of that man, I would feel very bad. Okay, I'm a woman, but feeling bad.
A bad sister-in-law.
Selfishness. Ebintu kati bingi. Obukodo no kubeera selfish. There is no society that can tolerate that. So don't say Western influence encourages individualism. Therefore, I'm selfish. When you lose someone, don't tell me. Someone, you know how we are neighbors with people. Someone dies here. In the morning you wake up with your bag and go. You don't pass there to say, what if it happens to you? We are expected to be empathetic. We are expected to be friendly, kind, gentle, grateful. Omuntu akodde ekintu kinene naye gamba ne baba musajja wo nga ayina kaleese kiraba bambi yali mutuufu kubanga it hurts because we ngenda kuweerera mba nefisiza kati nze nefisiza nkuwe naye gwe munange tosiimye byebyo omuntu alina okubeera responsible, omuntu alina okubeera respectful, omuntu alina okubeera all those things. And they are universal values. Teri akulimba nti the West is bad, for us we are good, but now they've influenced us. Now this is why we are like this. No, that one is lying.
Doctor, your parting shots as we come to the end of the show. Your last message?
My last message, most importantly, church should wake up, Ministry of Education should wake up. All places where children can be found, in Sunday school, in school, at home. It's the most charity begins at home. Let parents wake up, teach the children the way they should go, and they will not depart from it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anneette Kezaabu from the Uganda Pornography Control Committee. She's the chairperson, by the way. Doctor, you can, as we end, we know you like to end on a light note. Just tell us some of your hobbies, things you like to do when you're not busy at work and everything. What are some of the things you enjoy doing as an individual?
Well, those also now differ from time to time. When I was younger, there are things I liked to do. Usually, I like to get together with groups of people and we share ideas. I like such things as think tanks. So I am more of a verbal person and a person who likes to put things in perspective for others. I also play some sports.
Oh, okay. What sports do you play?
I swim.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. I run, I do all those things, but of course now with time, that's why I'm saying from time and context. Yes, but also I like to talk about God and things to do with God. I am born again Christian. I pride in that because I believe my destiny is there. When we are finished here, when Magufuli finished the other day, he left. So I want to finish, but finish well. When people have understood what right and wrong is, morality and all those things. So on a lighter note, yes, those are some of the things that I do, teaching others and sharing with them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Anneette Kezaabu, for coming for the Mighty Drive. You're welcome anytime. We're welcome to host you and talk to the people because this has been, you know, an entertaining and yet educative program. So thank you so much, Doctor. And yes, from the entire Mighty Drive team, let me remind you on Friday, this Friday, we're going to be having the book launch of Dr. Justice George Wilson Kanyehamba. Yeah, he's going to be launching the book right there at the Imperial Royal. Yes. And tickets go for 100,000 without a book, but if you want a book, oyagala akatabo yongerako emitwalo 10 giwere emitwalo 2 gennyini. Friday eno tubuzayo ndoza ennaku 4 era mbajjukiza ne National Coalition for Human Rights Defenders bakujjukiza nti oli mulwanizi wa ddembe. Are you a human rights defender? Genda wali ku Water Road Entinda oyogere nabo balabe engeri gye basobola okuyambamu gwe omulwanyizi w'eddembe. Jjukira okuyamba olina okuba nga olwanira eddembe ate ng'olirwanyira mu mirembe in a peaceful way. Oba oli mu kulwana biki lwate bagenda supporting naye oba oli mulwanyizi wa ddembe wonna wooli. Okubeera omulwanyizi w'eddembe tekitegeeza nti olina iri amaaso ga TV no. As long as wooli awo olina omuntu gw'olwanirira oba ng'olwanirira eddembe ly'abantu oli human rights defender. Ne program The Voltage ekomawo olunaku lwa leero ku ssaawa 1 ez'akawungezi. Twogera ku politics ezibaddewo olunaku olwaleero ne weekend yonna neewedde. Bajja kwogerako ndowooza ne Magufuli katono biki bituwunyikako byonna mu program The Voltage amasannyalaze gennyini kagenda kubeerawo. Ndowooza nakoze ne Farida Bikobere owano omukyala tubadde ne Dr. nga yonna bagambe Dr. Anneette Kezaabu. Producer waffe abadde Jeremiah Mukiibi, then driver ye Kato tumusiime. On camera ye Elizabeth Musiitwa era ne director waffe Arnold Anthony Mukose. Ndowooza Mighty Drive ekomyawo olunaku olwaleero enkya tugenda kubeerera tugenda beera ne program yennyini eno. Farida agenda kubeerawo ne Arnold nga boogera ku nsonga ze batera okwogera buli lwakubiri. Ndowooza the program Mighty Drive kekome ku dakiika 3 ezibulayo okuwera ku ssaawa 3 zennyini. Amanya nze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Ndowooza see you tomorrow or Wednesday. Nze mujja kundaba ku Wednesday. Tomorrow ajja kubeera Farida ne Arnold. Program The Mighty Drive, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube. Eno yennyini show gye tuva okushootinga ssaawa zino. Mu ssaawa ng'emu producer waffe ne director baba bagitaddeyo dda wali ku YouTube. Oba osobola ogenda n'ogiraba nga terimu buffering yonna eri clear and contrast. Ndowooza kankome wano Mighty Drive. Pampita Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Good morning.